we go for launch.
5.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
4.
My friend, we cannot keep this a secret any longer.
This whole thing is insane.
3.
Quiet, please. I am analyzing.
Where's the kaboom?
2.
There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
1.
Hey, never touch the buttons. I can use some information.
Whoa, for this price, I'll tell you whatever you want.
I'm looking for a hut.
Close for the night. Thank you.
Gangsters, war criminals.
Long live the Empire.
We'll take out every bad guy in your deck of cards.
This isn't about revenge. It's about preventing another war.
Strap in.
You will suffer. And then it will be his turn.
Before going into harm's way, check your armor. The kid will live centuries beyond me. I won't always be around to protect him.
Are you scared? You should be.
Do we run? Or do we fight?
I like this kid.
What are you waiting for? Let's save the rest for after dinner.
Greetings, my fellow galactic travelers, and welcome back to Planet 8. This is your mission commander Larry speaking to you from our hidden base. Chief Engineer Bob is here by my side as always in the command center, and circling Planet 8 in our orbital spy satellite is Reconnaissance Officer Karen.
And we are back to Planet 8, and we have some visitors this go round. Mandalorian and Grogu, all three of us ventured out into the real world and saw a movie on the big screen with a bucket of popcorn and who knows what else besides popcorn and soda. Maybe some red vines, maybe some raisinets, who knows. But straight away, since we didn't talk about who's going to kick off this episode, I'll start us off. We all have an iteration of a Star Wars shirt on. So there you go. That's very nice, Bob. You too, Karen.
And I also have my the Mandalorian ring.
This is the way.
From Han Cholo Rings.
Oh, nice.
This is the way.
This is the way. As you all know, we've talked about and done podcasts on all 3 seasons of The Mandalorian, and there was all this hoopla out there in the interwebs about will there be a season 4 or a film, and there are other films that were proposed by the powers that be over at Lucasfilm, and then the kibosh was put on them for one reason or the other. So we wind up with a Mandalorian and Grogu movie. First time a Star Wars film has been back in theaters since
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. I went in loving Grogu, loving Mando, and I thought it was a great popcorn movie. It was a lot of fun. Spoiler alert, Grogu does use the Force a little, but there wasn't a bunch of Jedi, yielding or wielding lightsabers and all that stuff. The big bads in this film were the Hutts and the twins that we saw in it was Boba Fett, right? They didn't show up in Mando, did they?
Yeah, I think it was Book of Boba Fett. It's
And
memory.
They were being paraded down the street on that float.
Yeah, those people were. Yeah. Bob, what'd you think? You're the one that saw it twice. Karen and I, Walker, you haven't seen it twice, have you?
No, only one time.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. I was lucky enough to see it twice, so I better remember parts of it. This movie was kind of almost like it snuck out because, like when we were talking about, okay, what do we got to do episodes on? Of course, we're talking about Spider-Man and Avengers, and what else? Superman's or Supergirl's coming out, and all these different things. And then suddenly, Mandalorian and Grogu popped up. And, we knew it was coming. It was basically they were supposed to do this back in like 2023, and then there was the writer's strike, and it pushed it back. And they were originally, I guess, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau had already written the entire fourth season of The Mandalorian when Lucasfilm or ILM decided to make the movie. So supposedly they didn't take like parts of their scripts and put it into a movie. So the scripts are still there for possible season 4. And the movie, luckily for a lot of people, it's standalone. You don't have to see any of the seasons of The Mandalorian because it just kind of like kicks off as just an adventure with Mando and Grogu. And I thought, that was cool. I know a lot of people were complaining that it didn't have this grand overarching story that affected the entire Star Wars universe or advanced the characters in any deep way. It was just, it's like movies used to be. It's like, the 66 Batman movie, that didn't really, other than they had the budget to make the Bat boat and the Bat copter and things and then use it in subsequent episodes, but it didn't advance the series in any deep way or anything. And this is the same thing. It's an adventure with the two main characters, and it's all self-contained, which is actually similar to the series because if you think about it, there were some, overarching storylines, but pretty much all the episodes, you could watch an episode and be good with it because they're all sort of individual stories. So, in keeping with that, that's pretty much what this was.
I think it's funny that some of the critics will complain that the series, well, why was Boba Fett there? Well, it was setting up the Boba Fett series. Why was Ahsoka there? Well, it was setting up the Ahsoka series. And then you get this movie, and there's no Boba Fett and no Ahsoka. And they're like, well, why aren't we setting up another movie? What? It's like, look, guys, it's either or. What do you want? What's going to make you happy?
That's the thing. You look at like Star Wars fandom, and there's no pleasing everybody, right? Because it's no matter what they do, people are going to complain. They're going to say, oh, well, they're selling out to this or they're selling out to that, or why didn't we have some big event happen? Or, why didn't we have, oh, we thought, Mando, or we thought Grogu was going to choose to be a Jedi in this, or Luke should show up. Yeah, exactly. It's like if they'd done any of that, people would have complained about how that was done. I really feel like the fandom, especially the Star Wars fandom, has become very hypercritical, and you just cannot please them. Yeah. And for me going into this, my expectations were just that it was going to be a popcorn movie I just expected pretty much what we got, which was that it was a big adventure. Like Bob said, it was a self-contained adventure. And, personally, I would prefer to see these characters on TV. I think that it works better that way. I would rather see them have done a season 4. And it sounded like season 4, a lot of this would have been in season 4, and they would have had a through line of going after Grand Admiral Thrawn, and maybe they would have brought Ahsoka back in. It might have set up Ahsoka's next season or whatever. But it still worked. It was very entertaining. They were able to do some things on a scale that maybe wouldn't have been as spectacular, on TV. And, I was amused. I laughed at certain parts, and I was kind of, wowed at certain parts. And the audience I was with was the same way. People applauded at the end. So, I think it achieved what it needed to do. And, I do hope they go maybe bring those characters back to TV, but everybody's saying, whoa, this is a colossal flop. This is a huge mistake by Disney, Lucasfilm. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I just think that it's another, group of people wanting to complain about what they're doing, what Star Wars is doing.
Right. Well, I think if you look on, and I hate the site, I don't usually pay any attention to it, but if you look at Rotten Tomatoes, the critics were I think 62%, 61 or 62% in favor of the movie. And then the general audience reviews were much higher, like 80 something percent. So I think, and take critics with a grain of salt, because these days, anybody with a keyboard and and a computer can be a critic. But look at us. No, but it's basically, I think people have expectations. Like, I expect this movie to do this and this and this. And if it doesn't do this and this and this, well, it sucks. It didn't meet my expectations. And, if it God forbid, if it went off canon or something, like there was a comic book or a side story or fan fiction or something, and it goes off canon, then that's a problem too. But again, it's just a story of these two characters. That's all it is and all it's meant to be. And as that, it actually works. And it's
I mean, did you have fun? Yeah. Was there action of it? Yeah. I mean, so it didn't address it didn't address the broader, well, what about Andor? Look, Andor was great. Well, why couldn't Mon Mothma have? Well, because they didn't put Mon Mothma and Grogu, and why Sigourney Weaver there? And I'm not knocking any of the other fans that have their criticisms, but I was watching this podcast with Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin, and Mark Bernardin infamously just rips the shit out of most movies, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, whatever. And anyway, I won't say what I want to say, but dude, if you didn't like the movie, don't go see it again. Look, I remember the animated or the holiday special for Star Wars, and they had that animated segment with Luke, Han. They introduced Boba Fett. Didn't advance the Star Wars narrative a lick, not a bit. But it was still entertaining. I think that was the most entertaining part of the holiday special myself.
But it did introduce Boba Fett, which
it introduced Boba Fett. Well, look, and this film didn't introduce Rod of the Hutt, but having watched the Clone Wars, and they did have a holographic projection. Who are you looking for? This little Rod of the Hutt. He was in the Clone Wars, Ahsoka and Anakin.
As a baby.
Right, as a baby. One of their first missions, if not their first mission, was to find him. So to see where he is now, and a buffed Hutt. I mean, that was interesting.
That was weird.
It was weird how he moved around and he was doing the roly thing in the ring, and Um,
Well, and the voice that also threw me too, because it was Jeremy Allen,
Jeremy
Jeremy
Allen
Allen
White. Yeah.
White, who was from The Bear, but I guess they also did some stuff to his voice to make it deeper. Yeah. So I didn't recognize the voice, and then when I saw who did it, I was like, that doesn't sound like him. But then it said that they had modified it.
Yeah,
So,
well, he was saying he went back and watched like Return of the Jedi and things, and just like he was trying to kind of do a Jabba voice. Um, so he did his homework, but I thought the other, speaking of voices and things, I guess Brendan Wayne and Lateef Crowder played Mando through most of the movie,
well, they did
except
that in
for
the
when
series too.
yeah.
Pedro Pascal took his helmet. Yeah, well, they took it. The Hutts took his helmet off. Spoiler alert.
I
And
mean,
they
he finally,
Pascal, and he just went in and just kind of overdubbed voices. But I mean,
right.
I'm sure at the same time he was off doing Fantastic Four and any, all the other movies, and he's in like every movie that comes out now. So I'm sure he was busy doing whatever. But
I think it's good that they gave Brendan Wayne and Lateef Crowder credit. I mean, right up front, they gave
Right.
them credit in the film because they've been doing this throughout the series, and at first I think Lucasfilm was very hesitant to admit that these guys were doing most of the work, in the suit. But it became so obvious over time that I think they had to do it. And I guess that's funny. I was thinking about that. I felt like, does it kind of cheapen it to know that like Pedro's basically never there? I mean, he's there briefly for some scene where like, oh, they're going to pull my helmet off in episode 5, or they're going to, and the rest of it is not him. On some level that kind of bothers me because I feel like, is he really developing the character? Is he really like, but then
I
I
look at it
mean,
as a voice actor, just like, we were talking about Rod the Hutt. I mean,
yeah,
sometimes they do some mocap,
I mean that, and you know, most actors outside of Jackie Chan all have their stunt doubles that are doing all the stunts while they,
good point.
sit
well,
back
he's
and
not
have a
even
drink in there.
just walking
Yeah.
around talking. I mean, the scenes with like Sigourney Weaver, I doubt that he was even there. It's probably
But it was
Brendan
his
Wayne.
voice.
His voice was there later on.
I really enjoyed Sigourney Weaver. Say what you will, but
Yeah, I thought
she
she
did
was
a
good
great
too.
job.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that they needed her in this scene, but it doesn't hurt to have her in it. She's a great actress, so sure.
Well, think about it. She's been in the Star Wars franchise, the Alien franchise, Ghostbusters. It's like she's been around
Pandora.
in.
What's that Pandora thing with the blue people?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
Avatar.
that thing that made all the money that nobody seems to care about.
that's right. It's made all the money even though no one's seen it. But so she's like just conquering IPs as she goes along. But
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Zero the Hutt was also in the animated Clone Wars and had a lot to do with the abduction or the kidnapping of Rada the Hutt. And if you guys haven't seen, it's a purple Hutt, one of Jabba's distant cousins.
I know I've seen it. It's been a long time.
And I was like, the voice actor, what did he mean to sound like Truman Capote? I was doing some research, and yes, they wanted him to sound like Truman Capote. Why? I have no idea, but
it
it
just
really
matches. Matches that character.
It works.
Yeah. Well, see, being the one of the group here that does not watch most of the TV shows and none of the cartoons and things, there was a number of characters, right, that came out of those.
Well, Zeb was there. Zeb, who was traveling with Mando and Grogu early on, came out of Rebels.
Rebels.
Yeah. So
Now,
that
his
was
design was
cool.
the original design for Chewbacca.
Right. The
Way
Ralph
back when.
McQuarrie.
Ralph McQuarrie, right. If you look at some of the
Mm-hmm.
early renderings or drawings of Chewbacca, that's who it was. They just couldn't figure out how to manifest that character, so we got, the lovable Wookiee that we have
Right.
The
have
big
known.
fuzzy Wookiee.
The Jujeric live action match.
That was
That was
good.
yes, it was a nice homage to fans of the original series when Chewbacca and 3PO were playing the Jujeric like a holographic chess, and these creatures are
And the
yes, and we
Well, if you
see
look at that
them.
arena though, too, it looks like a big chessboard.
Yes,
right.
the Jujeric board was there, so that was just. And then they go rampaging out into the wilds of the city. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was funny.
Yeah, nice homage to the and fan service. I mean, um
So they never explained where that fisherman guy comes from.
the Catfish
The
Man.
Catfish Man, whatever he was before. I mean, he had a
He's
big
just
role because
hanging
he
out
had
there.
Grogu to cure Mondo,
It was almost like a Pirates of the Caribbean the ride, that little ship.
That was what I was thinking, Larry. I was going to say that, but when you go on Pirates, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you go by like the Blue Bayou.
Yeah.
You see him sitting in the restaurant?
Well, I'd be surprised now if we don't see him eventually, but it just had that vibe. He's on the bayou of Nal Hutta, and
yeah, it had that vibe. That's so funny you said that because I thought that when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, this is like right out of
now
Pirates
to make the story better. Bernardin was saying, why did they introduce a fish man? Why couldn't it have been like a throwback to Jar Jar Binks? Have Jar Jar Binks? I'm like, why would Jar Jar be on Nal Hutta?
That's stupid.
And how would he know how to create like a Venom? Anyway, look.
Well, see, that would be going back to like Strange New Worlds or whatever, where they try to sandwich in characters just to have characters in there.
Right,
yeah,
right.
That's so unnecessary.
Look, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I don't think that would have worked. Could they have cut 30 minutes out and just have Grogu use the Force and heal Mando 100%? Not just the cut, but suck the poison out too?
That's what I thought would happen, because didn't he cure Carl Weathers that one time? I forgot his name. So yeah, I was surprised that we had to have that long interlude on the planet. It was a 2 hour and 12
like a
movie.
90-minute movie, and
All right. Are they going to sell
I
an
love
action
90-minute
figure?
movies.
Yeah, I agree.
If you can't tell a story in 90 minutes, it ain't worth telling.
Oh, that's ridiculous. King Kong was under 90 minutes, wasn't it?
Hell, a lot of the Universal monster films are like an hour, 10 minutes, hour and 15.
I rest my case.
But if you're paying $22 or whatever to get into a movie, you want to get your money's worth. So you want it to be over 2 hours. What is it? Avengers Doomsday is going to be like 4 hours or some shit.
I don't know that I can do
I tell you
that.
what, when I saw Lord of the Rings, I had to bring my catheter with me, so I just didn't want to miss.
When I went to, this is going totally off subject, but when I went for the first time to see Peter Jackson's King Kong, there was a guy in front of us. This was at the Grand Lake Theater in Oakland. There was this guy in front of us, and he was like settling in, and he's like got his drink, and he's got his popcorn, and he's got everything going. And he looks around at us. He goes, "This was like renting an apartment. You got to settle in for this." But
if there's a film that I know I'll see more than once, I'll try to strategically plan my potty break if something's going
stagger your potty breaks. And
yeah, and then after I've seen it 2 or 3 times, I can just pee freely. I mean, I can go to the restroom whenever I like. Yeah. Um, I enjoyed the Anzellans. I loved them in the series. Baby, bad baby, be good, baby, baby, be good. And I love the way they walk. Whether they're puppets, people think they're CG. They're a practical, like a dinorama, or not dinorama, but
well, a lot of the
there was
characters in this thing
stop
are
motion.
stop motion. Yeah,
They did some stop motion in this, and it was really cool. I mean, the most obvious was those big robot guardians
yeah.
in front of the door.
I thought the Anzelians or whatever, it was what Shirley Henderson did like all four voices.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah.
But they are just hilarious. I need to find one online somewhere. I'm sure they're
You're
out
gonna
there.
capture one.
Just throw them back
Capture
there.
one in the wild.
Well, their spaceship was great. That was great when they all took off in that little spaceship, right? They get there and then they go to rescue Mando or whatever, and then they bring him back to the spaceship and he's looking at it and it's literally like a surfboard. And he's like, I can't fit in that.
Yeah, but they're all even, they're all like, come on, let's go.
Yeah, they're all excited.
And even,
Okay,
Grogu's like pointing, like, come on, let's get.
We'll be back, baby. We'll be back, okay. The other fun thing was when, Grogu builds that Yoda hut for Mando to sleep in, and he uses the Force to get Mando, and you hear this clunk,
clunk,
clunk.
Yeah, but then he keeps pulling him in back and trying to.
They milked him for all
him in there.
Jam him in. His feet are sticking out. He throws all the sticks and leaves on top of his feet.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I thought, stuff like that. I mean, maybe I'm juvenile, but I just sat there and laughed at it. People in the theater were laughing. I mean, and again,
I thought you were going to say people were staring at you.
They were throwing stuff at me. This is ultimately these films, people say this, with the exception of like Andor, Star Wars is really intended for kids and those who are kids at heart. And, if you can't sit there and enjoy something like this, you probably need to, watch something else. I don't know. You've got to have a little joy in your heart when you watch a film like this. You know what you're gonna see. It's The Mandalorian and Grogu. I mean, I think they could have come up with a better title. I don't know. I feel like that title was not the best title.
Yeah. But
nice.
It had some weird working title that like Thunderstruck or something. It's like something had nothing to do with anything.
The Thunder Down Under.
Trying to shoot
throw
it,
everybody off.
Trying to shoot it in secrecy. So
the other thing Harvest. I appreciated as a kid from the 70s who would collect these action figures, the Amani show up, those flat-headed water creatures that go after Mando as he escapes that. It's not the Sarlacc pit, but whatever that snake dragon water pit.
Yeah, well, yeah, that snake dragon. They should make just some big, huge model or toy figure of that. But
that would be interesting.
That was a very.
Oh, go ahead, Walker.
Well, it was just kind of would throw you back to like Harryhausen days, right? Where like Sinbad would be fighting some kind of horrendous creature, right?
The Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was funny at the end where, spoiler alert, where it swallows both the huts, both the twins. And you see it like arc and go underwater, and as it's going, you see these two big lumps inside.
It's gonna have some indigestion.
Gnarly.
And then there was also that other bounty hunter that captures.
He's from the animated series as well.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'm sure they've seen Zayram before.
Yeah.
Kiyama Mia.
I'm almost positive. That was probably Filoni, because Filoni introduced that character even before Rebels. I want to say he was in Clone Wars. Yeah. How about
the bounty hunter with the wolf?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't think of his
He
name
had
right
the
now.
big like
Yeah.
samurai.
I know he's shown up before. I couldn't remember his name though when I was watching it. I'm not that big a Star Wars buff.
And
What?
his wolf has a name too.
Yeah.
Once upon a time I knew it, but
Yeah, I've got IMDb up and I was like looking for the credit for him and I don't see it in here. Um, I want to say it was like well, alphabetic. Yeah, oh,
Embo.
Embo.
Embo
Bounty
yeah.
Hunter Embo.
with his wolf.
Howler. No, I have no idea what the wolf name is,
Hey,
but
let's talk about how the movie started. Wasn't that just like, whoa,
well, yeah, I was just like whiz bang, here we
Call.
go.
here we go.
Like a Bond movie.
Like a Bond movie,
Like James
exactly.
Bond movies, they have the whole, he's out on a mission before the beginning credits and boom, 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 everything takes place. But yeah, same thing. He's
Right.
blowing up AT-ATs and all that.
And the whole story about there's remnants of the Empire, these basically they've become warlords and they're trying to seize control and or they're waiting because there was a meeting, holographic meeting of those
Mm-hmm.
expats or whatever from the Empire, and they're talking about the return of Zahn. Not Zahn,
Thrawn.
Thrawn, sorry, yeah. General Thrawn. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be a huge part of the Ahsoka season 2
Well,
series.
supposedly he was going to be a big part of Mandalorian season 4.
Yeah.
They were
It
going
still
after.
might happen, like you said. They have all the scripts out there, so
Well, Ahsoka season 2 is supposed to come up. Is it going to be next year?
I
You
thought it
guys
was
recall?
December, although
Oh, this year.
they changed things so much.
Let's see if we can figure this out. Early 2027 is
There you
what
go.
Google AI is saying.
Now, I thought Johnny Coyne did a great job as Janu. And I don't know, he was just, it seemed like he was perfect for the role. Now, I think that character is from a previous series or something, right?
Well, I think he was one of those. I think I read it somewhere that he was actually one of those Imperials that was in that scene, the holographic scene you were talking about, Blair,
Yeah.
where they were addressing all the ex-admirals or whatever. I think he was in one of those scenes.
Because he even
So,
has the looks of like a classic kind of comic book gangster thug guy.
Bad guy.
Yeah. But no, I thought that was cool. And it was a good twist that, he was the guy that they were looking for all that time.
All along.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
One thing, and it's not a criticism, but it would have been nice. They get the Razor Crest back, or a version of that ship, and they call it Razor Crest. That he's telling Grogu. That was the thing that bothered me too. Heal.
Yeah.
He's your
Yeah,
ward. He's not your pet.
he's not a dog.
Heal?
Yeah,
And
that
he
was a
said that
little
twice, I think.
rude.
Couple times. And
Yeah.
then, they're in the Razor Crest. Grogu, sit down. It would have been nice had he given the gear shift a little ball. I mean, that was a bonding moment in the series. Touched the old man's heart here. It would have brought man tears instantly had I seen that. But they chose not to do it. Throughout the whole film, I was waiting, but
But
Yeah,
it
I
was
thought they would
there.
have done it.
Like
it
they
was
kept
there.
having shots of the control board or whatever, and there it is.
They were teasing
Right
me
up.
all along.
But were there
What's
any
that?
man tears during this movie?
Yeah, when he cuddled up with and Jazz too. And Jazz never cries. ever cries. I mean, and she was like, "Oh, that's a good scene," and I'm like, I know."
What
Passing the
scene is that?
tissue back and forth. Matter of fact, I was talking with Walkie, and she's like, "You guys cried? What scene, may I ask?" And I'm like, "Oh," and she's like, Now, and let me tell you guys something.
No, you still haven't said what the scene is, but
Oh, when he's cuddling with Mando, for the night, he kind
oh,
of goes like that, and it's like
okay.
it kind of gave me like Gremlins. Doo, 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 doo. But we have Walkie to thank because whenever we do an episode and it's about a movie that's coming to theaters or in theaters, Walkie will always ask the question, do you guys think we can fill an hour? I mean, do you think? And so Walkie, I think, was the first one, or was it Bob? One of you two saw it first. And when you both came back with like, oh, what a great movie, I'm like, we're doing the Mando.
Yeah.
There have been a number of movies where we said, okay, we're going to commit to it. And we saw the movie and it's like, oh boy, what are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
Well, and it can be hard with a new film because, especially like if you've only seen it once, you just have that one impression and it's kind of fleeting.
Yeah.
Like even now, I'm just like, well, I enjoyed it. Yeah, there are certain things I liked, but I don't have the depth or years of, thinking about it like I do with like if we talk about Planet of the Apes, I could sit here and talk about that for like 2 hours.
I will say, unlike some movies, watching it twice, there wasn't really anything the second time around that I didn't notice the first time around. Because a lot of times you see a movie again, it's like, oh, I missed this part, or I, didn't catch this or that. But no, it was straightforward enough that there was nothing I didn't notice in the first go around.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't know when, but need to find time to see it again. I don't know if Jazz will go with me again or not, but that's cool. What else was as you say, Walkie, let me see what scene was good.
Right. What scene did you enjoy? What else can you think of about it? I mean, they had cameos by the different directors and Filoni as like X-Wing
Right.
pilots. They were all back in there. And Sigourney was a pilot at the end, so that was kind of cool too. So they
They had that one
kept
guy
that
who
up.
was in like the first season of Mandalorian, where he was trying to, I guess he was trying to arrest Mando. And they go in that like spider cave and all that.
Right. They had
Yeah,
those.
he was one of the pilots in this one.
I like that they were able to fit in. I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
And he got his rifle back.
And he got his rifle back,
which was cool.
That's one thing I would say that like getting the ship and the rifle back kind of unearned, kind of just like, oh, here you go, we got this ship with all your cool stuff. Just kind of like, here, have it.
Well,
I almost wish he had earned it in some way, like he had gone on an adventure and found it, or
he blew up 3 AT-ATs. What else could he do?
No, but if he'd
that was
taken
a
it
cool
from
scene
some
though when
bad
he was
guy.
in that one walker and he tells Grogu, come on, and then he takes it like down that mountain, down the slope. That was pretty cool.
That was nice.
Yeah.
I earned this baby, Walkie.
Yeah, I'd like to have seen him.
Like painted up, kind of a beat up brown or whatever.
But that's a mild complaint, I think.
Yeah, like the little, ball gear shift thing. Would have been nice, but what bothered me with the gun is that it didn't instantly disintegrate those robots. It's like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, he's blew those Jawas to hell. They were gone. There was nothing left of them. I remember when I first saw that when the show first came out, and he's wow, and they're just poof, they're just disintegrating. There's nothing.
They became a Jawa fart.
I just kind of sat there with my jaw like, whoa.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, I always thought that was like the coolest gun ever, and then that's it. He didn't have it anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
Until now. But
now he's reset. They put him back to his factory settings, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
Pretty much.
I don't know. It was an enjoyable flick.
I like that Rada's going to join the rebellion.
Yeah.
Let's see how that works out. I like that Sigourney's telling Mando he's part of the rebellion, and Mando's like, nope, I'm not a sole proprietor, but but Grogu like gives a salute. You know, one of the things, and again, not to criticize, I know Yoda's species is long-lived. He lived to be 800 or 900 years old. At what age do they start learning how to talk? Because if Grogu's 50 and he's still, goo goo, when's he going to be able to, like...
When it stops being cute, then he'll start
verb conjugation and yeah, well, I guess.
Actually, he's mentally deficient.
Leave Grogu alone.
That's why they left him there at the temple and didn't take him right away.
So mean. Gosh, guys, I can't think of anything else. I think we covered most.
Well, I mean, I would just say that, if people are avoiding seeing it because they think Disney is ruining Star Wars, or they're not going to go see it because they think there's some agenda or something, I mean, Pedro Pascal does not remove his helmet and it turns out he's a woman underneath or anything like that. It's like,
yet
it is it's true to the series. So
it's fun
until they reboot it or whatever, then
you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll kiss $20 goodbye.
Oh, man.
At least. No, it's worth seeing. It was fun. I think you just have to have the right attitude going in.
It was fun. And kids, enjoy this podcast because I have a fairly strong feeling we're not going to do one on Supergirl. I'd like to, but I don't
you
see
never
that
know.
happening.
Hey, there is one other Star Wars related bit of news.
Yes.
Sad news, unfortunately.
Yes.
Marshall Lucas passed away last week.
Mm-hmm.
Who famously saved Star Wars. A lot of people say she re-edited it, and a lot of folks say without that edit, it was in pretty sad shape. So,
well, she wasn't.
Yeah.
Edited though. Right?
What was that?
She wasn't a Lucas when she edited it, though, right? Or didn't marry her
no,
after?
She was married to him, I think, at the time.
Oh, was she? Okay. I thought
as far as I recall.
After.
Yeah, she was married to Lucas from 1969 to 1983. Yeah, passed away from metastatic cancer. So, sadly, not with us anymore, but made her contributions to Star Wars
Several films,
and
not
other
just
films.
Star Wars, but yeah.
As an editor, which is probably a unsung.
She was very talented, and yeah, there's several films that she edited and worked on.
And famously said that the prequels were crap, but we don't have to talk about it.
She didn't edit those, so
she didn't edit herself either. Well, yeah, our condolences.
She's not far from wrong, though.
Absolutely. What's that, Bob?
So she's not far from wrong, though.
Well, like I say,
from a certain point of view,
my nieces, Kayla and Jenny, love the prequels. They love Star Wars as well.
Just depends when you grew up.
Depends on when you grew up. And Kayla loves the Jar Jar Binks character, and she can't understand why people, us older folks, have a problem. Anyway, we could go on and on, but we shall not, because this is the point in the podcast where we have our censor sweep. Staying on this Star Wars subject, have you guys watched? Well, Bob, you haven't watched Darth Maul Shadow Lord. Waki, have you?
I have not seen that as of yet.
It's. I will say I do like, I don't love, but I do like the Darth Maul character, and carrying over from Rebels and the animated series. Maul is dealing with a lot psychologically, having been severed in half, and being dumped by his Sith Lord, Palpatine. Oh, I'll finish this thought before I get into the Palpatine story. And anyway, in this series, he actually fights Darth Vader, which is freaking awesome. Not that that's why you should watch this series, but it was pretty darn good. And of course, they're setting things up. I think it's easier to set up things in the animated series than the live action. It's just a little more, I don't know, easier to believe and follow and whatnot. But I watched The Awakening with Charlton Heston this past weekend with some friends. They came over to, Chad and Jenny came over to watch it. What's that?
Isn't it a mummy movie?
It's a mummy movie, and it's based on a Bram Stoker story, mummy story. And there's 2 or 3 movies that have been done before this. Hammer had one. But Ian McKellen is in this movie, and he dies a horrific death. And we were like, oh my God, it's the Emperor. So that was interesting and fun. Has anyone seen The Punisher? Since we're on Disney series and stuff.
That was pretty much a John Wick type production.
Just a one shot. It's funny because The Punisher predates John Wick by like decades, but people do make that comparison, Bob. It's like, oh, John Wick.
No, I'm just saying that special was.
Oh,
I mean, usually the Punisher's not just going around that's like killing a person every second, and taking their gun, whatever. But yeah, it was very John Wick in style.
Yeah. Like I say, a lot of folks are making that comparison. I loved it. I thought it was great. How he's going to go from that version of the Punisher to what we've seen in the trailers for Spider-Man, I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see. What else? You guys watching anything that I may have missed?
Speaking of Spider-Man, what about Spider-Noir?
I've watched 1.5 episodes, and it's kind of dragging for me. I know you and Walker
the best Marvel
it.
series that has been on, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And it's not even on Disney, and so I thought, oh well, it is dark. It is dark. It's on not Hulu, it's on Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah. You guys liked it, so.
Well, I'm halfway through it. Okay. So I understand why you say it's dragging for you, because it is slow. I mean, the pacing is fairly, it's not the worst, but it's not like boom, boom action. I just, watching Nicolas Cage is kind of fascinating.
It's a weird version of him. The way that he's acting, I don't know. I see Nicolas Cage's face, but I'm not connecting.
Well, I think he's somewhat restrained. I think he did a lot of roles in the past where he just kind of went bonkers.
Are you talking about Mandy?
I haven't seen Mandy. I've heard about Mandy.
Well, let me tell you.
But oh my God, my dog keeps coming and sitting behind me, and then he's running off barking. It's very distracting. Yeah, he's doing a very like restrained thing. but also he looks kind of, I mean, I'm not sure how old he is. He's definitely looking a lot older than I remember him, and they've got makeup and looks like a wig or whatever on him
Well,
and
he's
stuff.
also playing an older Ben Riley,
yeah.
noir. Because he's getting in the suit and he's fighting, but he's like, he's not tearing the place up because he's older now.
He's old.
Yeah.
He's an old guy.
But no, it's interesting. It's an interesting show. I'm
You guys
enjoying
watching
it
it
so
in
far.
color, or are you doing the black and white?
I couldn't even find the black and white option.
Yeah, I
It
had
gave me an
trouble with that.
option every time I turned the damn thing on. Do you want to watch in color or black and white? I'm like, color.
I think because I hit on the main Prime menu and episode 1 just started up.
Ah.
And then every time, I went to watch it, I hit that prompt and boom, it comes right up and it comes right up in color. So I never saw a black and white option pop up.
Yeah, I saw something that said you can go to the such and such menu. And I was like, okay. And I looked and I couldn't find that menu. I know I have other issues. My TV is like over 10 years old. I don't know if that's part of the problem. So,
oh my.
Yeah, it's probably about time to invest in like a 4K setup.
Next sensor sweep, Walker will walk us through her 4K experience.
Yeah, we'll see.
We don't have a 4K, but it's a, sharp picture, and the Martins come over and they're like, whoa, your screen, the people look really weird. They look real, or I'm like, well.
I do have 4K.
Ah. One day. Anything else? Otherwise, we're going to get into the sensor sweep.
Nothing else that I'm watching that's on streaming. So,
all right. Walker, you got anything for the sensor sweep?
Well, I'm going to show this, even though I thought I had shown it before, and the two of you said, I don't remember this. So if our viewers say, what? She's shown that 3 times before, I'll just say, well, none of us remembered it. So for our listeners, I'm showing, this is the last hot toy I bought after not buying many, many hot toys. This is Luke Skywalker with Grogu. Can't see it very well because, of course, I've got my fake background. But it's a hot toy figure that came out about 4 years ago. And Luke is in his black outfit that we saw him in on Mandalorian. And he's holding Grogu. It's very nice. And yeah, I broke down and got that guy because I had to have my favorite Star Wars character.
That is nice.
It is.
Bob, what you got for us?
Well, being an old retired man, I haven't bought anything lately. So I dug out something old that I thought was kind of cool. And I'll segue into something that's coming out. But this is from what's this? DMP. I don't have my glasses on. Let me get this on. All right. DMP Platinum. And it is the original Tetsuo Yoshida manga of Speed Racer, of Mach Go Go Go. And it's in 2 volumes. Volume out here. And it's the entire manga or comic series of Mach Go Go Go, which had become the Speed Racer series. And it's 2 hardcover books in a nice slipcase. And I bring that up because coming up later this summer, I believe it's Funimation is releasing Mach Go Go Go, the original Japanese Speed Racer series, on Blu-ray.
Ooh.
And, it was previously available in a very expensive Speed Racer set, which was like a Speed Racer head, and there were like four um, packs of discs in the back of the head. One was Speed Racer Blu-ray, one was Speed Racer DVD, one was Mach Go 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 Blu-ray, Mach Go 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 DVD, and then they had a DVD of Speed Racer Restart, which was like a series that came later, like in the 80s, late 80s. And yeah, I remember seeing like the first maybe dozen episodes on syndication here, and then it kind of disappeared. So it was cool. It was cool to have the whole series. But if you don't want to have spend all that money on this big old set, then the Blu-ray of Mach Go 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 will be out uh, this summer. So also going along with that, there's a guy who he always has a booth at Godzilla Fest, which is coming up, and he does skateboard. I guess what do they call them without the wheels, or just what
Deck.
deck. And I bought Speed Racer from him, which has the Mach 5, and at the bottom it has speed. But he does Ultraman, he does Godzilla, he does quite a few different ones. So if you come out to Godzilla Fest, you'll see those. And Godzilla Fest, tickets are on sale and have been on sale. They're at early bird discount pricing until June 15th. And then starting June 16th, price goes up. So if you're coming to Godzilla Fest, buy your tickets now before they get more expensive.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Well, I have been cleaning up, trying to clean up, and I came across, I don't know if this was a gift or if I bought it, a Toonie Terror silver screen Vincent Price action figure. And, he's got a skull, he's got a black cat, he's smoking a cigarette. Spare hand without the cigarette. It's a pretty
They don't
cool
have
figure.
the bald egghead head you can put.
No, it's from his terror scary movie, not the Batman series.
He said that was his favorite role. They should put in there.
Well, I'm sure there's a egghead figure out there, but this was a silver screen, kind of an interesting take on him. Also, shout out to Half Price Books. 8mm Laurel and Hardy movies. And Jasmine asks, how are you going to watch those? Do you have an 8mm? There's probably
oh my
can't
God.
No, can't see it, but
you wouldn't be able to. Do you have a little magnifier you can look at those with?
I think if Bob Ekman does one of his psychotronics, I may bring these out there, see if he can play them.
Well, he does 16 though, so he doesn't have 8.
16, so it looks like I'm going to be going to garage sales looking for an 8mm projector.
I was going to say, go on eBay and find an 8mm.
And then this baby is from the Night Gallery episode The Dead Man. And I really liked the art on this. The episode's real trippy. This is the artist. He did over 100 paintings for the show. Thomas J. Wright. And he signed this. You can see there. So this will go up on the wall eventually. Huh.
Now, did you get this from him, or is this a second
eBay? There was a gentleman selling this on his behalf, and so there's still if you type in Thomas J. Wright, there's a dozen or half dozen reproductions of the paintings from the show still up there. And good stuff. So you too can own and then take it to Michael's and have them frame it for you. Framing will cost you more than the print.
I lost my connection.
Ah, well.
My daughter used to run the frame shop over there in San Leandro. But
Jazz had a cousin who worked at Hallmark, and we get all the ornaments for like 50% off.
There's a cool Creature from the Black Lagoon ornament coming out from Hallmark this year.
Coming out.
I guess
Can't get it till October.
Starting in July.
Our Hallmark store closed.
Oh no!
I knew.
There's one near me. I should probably go in there and say, "Hey, get me a creature."
I was in a Hallmark store nearby, and I was asking about the creature ornament, and they had like last year's ornaments and the year before, I want to say for 70% off. And Jasmine was at an appointment, and she calls me before I finished going through the ornaments, so I had to go pick her up. But they did have Rodan from last year, and I was thinking, you know, with the Monarch season 2 finale, how cool would that be to have? And it was a big ornament. I mean, you know, Fire Rodan. But yeah. Well, my friends,
I'll go down and see if I can pre-order it and have them get it.
I tried. I was told October, but no harm going back in July.
Yeah. No, someone had posted that it's coming in July. Or they'll be available in July. But
cool.
We shall see.
You heard it here first, kids. All right, guys. Well, good episode. Thank you all for listening, for watching. If you haven't gone on to YouTube, please go to our Planet 8 YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. We appreciate you guys tuning in every single episode. We got some real fun stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks and months. So stay tuned and stay safe. Take care of yourselves. This is Planet 8 signing off. End transmission.
May the force be with you.
And may the force be with you.
We have spoken.
We have. This is the way.
On that note, this will conclude this transmission from Planet 8. We would like to thank all of our intergalactic audience for listening. Be sure to head on over to our website at www.planet8podcast.com, where you can get more information on this episode's topic.
For more conversation, find us on Twitter at Planet8Cast.
Or on Facebook at facebook.com/Planet8Podcast.
We want to thank you guys for tuning in each and every episode. We look forward to your input and opinions. Until next time, this is Planet 8 signing off. End transmission.
By George, he's got it. It is the end.